That is absolutely the mic that you scream into.
Tony, something's wrong with your camera.
Man, Brian's freaking
Organically?
playing it up.
For Winston later, too.
I don't like this guy.
Brian?
I'm still going to kick your ass.
PodQuest question.
I might have done the Gettysburg Address.
I just thumbs him down.
Stanley Pickleton.
Dirty looking bullet.
What's up, man?
Hello? You hear me?
We'll have that and more coming up.
We're going to have that discussion.
Right now. Welcome to the XYZ podcast. This is episode 37. I'm millennial producer Tony, joined as always by your co-host Gen X Brian
Good evening, everybody.
and Gen Z Winston.
What's up? What it do, everyone?
Good afternoon and good night. I suppose I shouldn't put a time, right? Greetings, everyone. So if you're listening,
Well, if you
to
put a
this at 7
time,
a.m.
then whenever people's listening to the episode, you're kind of just getting, you're touching all the bases.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
we're
were
just having a
talking-
discussion about things we might have memorized in school. And the question posed to Winston was,
Did you learn that? Well, no, I guess we had the preamble to the United States Constitution, and then I'm more curious whether or not you said the Pledge of Allegiance, either of you, before class.
Well,
I'll
obviously
take-
not when I was in Vietnam.
Well, no, I'm.
what's the, here's,
I
okay,
don't think you were saying the United States Pledge of Allegiance.
let me get
in
mine in.
Vietnam.
Yes.
Yes,
I
okay.
don't- we did for a while. I don't remember doing it in like high school or anything. We definitely did
No.
in elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna go back to Winston. Winston, I've got another question I want to interrupt you though.
Okay.
Was there a Vietnam Pledge of Allegiance?
We sort of did. Yeah, we sort of had the Pledge of Allegiance. So I think if I remember correctly, from first grade to fifth grade, every Monday, if I remember right, it's every Monday you would be, every kid in school would be sat kind of like in the schoolyard. And so our school used to be huge and we would all sat in the schoolyard, and the teacher would kind of go and do their like morning announcement and talk about different things or whatever, and then after that we'll do like our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and then we would also sing the national anthem as a school.
Okay. Yeah. That's,
Yeah, so it's super cool. And then like if you were like a kid in band, you would play like the drums and the horns for the whole school to sing your
So you guys got into it. It was a production, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely a production, which I thought was super dope.
But just on Mondays.
If I remember correctly, it was only on Monday that we
Well,
did
I don't
that.
think anybody's gonna fact check you, so we'll
Yeah.
we'll assume it was Monday.
And before a random Vietnamese person appeared in chat and just calling me a liar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it could be. You never
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, so that's how it was in Vietnam. It was super weird because you would sit there and you would kind of just listen. It's the same time. So like when you get to school, if you get there early, you'll be in class and the teacher will kind of be like, "Hey, you gotta go out to the courtyard." But it was weird because it was like a variety of things that happened during that, opening ceremony of the school day. Because it was like
Like
first,
the Olympics every week, huh?
Yeah, it's like sing the national anthem, then you do your little pledge, and then like immediately follows by that are kids who's getting expelled. Like they would
What?
read
They got
the
expelled
names
in
off.
front of the whole school?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
dang,
So
man,
not
that's-
only would not only would they read the name, they would drag them up to the front of the school and show it off to everybody.
By
and be
their
like,
collars?
yeah, and it'd be
Their
like
ear.
these kids are getting booed out of here for the week. And if it's like
They'd
if
say why?
No, they didn't say why. Oh, so
Oh,
that was
man.
suspensions, right? That was suspension, not expel. And there was one time that I remember there was one kid I remember that got expelled, and that was in my sixth grade.
An extra special ceremony for that, huh?
No, he was the
Firing
last one to
squad.
go. It was hilarious. No, it was hilarious. So they would do like the suspension, like name read or whatever, and every kid that goes on, they get to this last kid, they're like, and lastly, we got this one motherfucker. They start going off and like talked about all the things he did, like he bullied a girl, he hit somebody and stuff like this.
Oh,
And
man.
then and then they got him to the front and goes, "You're expelled," like basically to the front of the school. But I remember I would see him kind of hang out around the school like a few days after, and his hair's all dyed. He had like red hair by then. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
So you got kicked to the streets, man.
yeah, pretty much. He was a
Wow.
delinquent though, so like, fuck him. But he
But-
tried to bully me one time. He was a gay bully, which is like something you never see. You know what I mean? It's like either you're a bully or you're gay. It's just like never seen the combination. But I guess it's
See, he
Southeast
was-
Asia.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he was defending himself before he got bullied. That's crazy,
Could
though,
be.
man.
Yeah,
That's public shame and ridicule. I love it.
exactly.
What are your feelings on the fact that now that you've moved to the United States, that we do the national anthem before sporting events.
I think that's normal, ain't it? Like, I think like that's a normal
Again, did they do
occurrence.
that in Vietnam? Like, if you went to like a soccer game, did they?
I mean, I've never been, but I would make an assumption that they do.
Okay.
I don't, because doesn't Canada do that for their
Canada
sport team?
does, but we're still talking North America. So that's what besides those two, like, I don't think Britain does. I don't think if you go to a football game in the UK, I don't think they're singing God Save the Queen before the match. Based on other British people that I listen to online, I am 95% sure that that's the case.
That's good. Hopefully the British people online are factually correct.
Speaking of sports,
I was gonna say, speaking of sports, I'm still just amazed that they like called out the people that were getting expelled in front of the whole school. That's amazing.
Yeah, man. If there was ever a way to like stop kid from acting up, that would be it. Because it's like, here's the thing: they never tell you beforehand you're getting suspended. You just gotta find out at that day.
It's like, come on down.
Yeah, literally. You won a prize. You get a week off of school. Yeah, and a phone call to your parents on the same day. So, but here's the thing: it's real shitty because they wait until the parents drop the kids off at school. The kids go to school for like an hour max, and then immediately have to go pick them back up. Which
it's like getting fired on a Friday morning. You drove in, you got there, and then you get let go.
I did find clips of like the little ceremony thing in Vietnam. I will send it to you later, Tony, and you can share.
I'll link it for everyone to see later. Okay. But speaking of international countries and sports, the Olympics is over.
That's right.
Yeah.
Victory is mine.
We have the winners. Ireland, 4 gold, 4 bronze, or 4 gold, 3 bronze. Croatia, 2 gold, 2 silver, 3 bronze. So I've lost by 2 points. And
all right, drum rolls.
Vietnam, 0.
Whoa, let's go.
So as promised, we mentioned last time, because the outlook was pretty clear that Brian was going to win our bet. I did post the link for Brian's birth year top hits playlist. It's a Spotify playlist. Winston did find some interesting sites that you can just basically Google transfer Spotify playlist to whatever your preferred listening platform is, and it'll transport.
Transformers.
Yeah. It'll change it over for you. Words are failing me. Not a good time for that.
Oh man, I did listen to that. 1974. People were weird. What
it was
became
real weird
hits.
Music. Yeah, man. We're tricking Chad. We're doing another episode of the bracket right now.
No, I'm looking forward to that though. But man, speaking of the brackets, the supplemental brackets that goes up on the YouTube only, the copyright stuff, man. A lot of the stuff that we're picking out is like great TV theme songs we're not able to play due to like copyright restrictions.
But what's crazy is
Tony's having a hard time getting them cleared.
Right.
Good news for that. I have found a way to fight a lot of those. So our 80s TV theme song bracket goes up this Friday. You can catch that on our YouTube in its entirety. No cuts this time. Every song is there. So I've disputed claims. So it's all there this time. I do have the Brian playlist up on screen for everybody live.
So these were top hits of 1974. Every week of the year 1974.
Brian, we gotta put a ding right here because Tony said, and we have it up on the screen.
Well,
I was trying to get to the fact again that if you want to find this playlist, please go to our Instagram. You can find a link to that. You can also find a link in Winston's watch and listen list for episode 36 on our website, podcastxyz.podbean.com. This is more for us to look at as we discuss things.
This is really just to broaden Winston's horizons beyond K-pop.
No, it really is.
It's really why we did this. But one thing I noticed about this playlist is that a lot of the songs, I mean, they're all over the place. You have like something super funky, and then you've got like Barbara Streisand, and then you've got The Streak, which is a song about Winston. I hope you listen to it. It's a comical song about a streaker. Yeah. It's a novelty song.
That's what I was gonna say. Was a lot of the song were like comedy song, which was weird.
I feel like that's the only one.
No, that's the only comedy song. But no,
because there was one song that kind of ended with just like
Kung Fu Fighting. Everybody was Kung Fu Fighting. Racially insensitive and
funny. No, we were talking about the very awkward Ringo's Star cover of "You're
Ooh.
16, You're
Yeah, that's
Beautiful,
weird
and You're
too.
Mine."
Yeah, upon listening to this and looking into that, yeah, I know people say, it was of the time, but it doesn't age well at all. It's really creepy. And it's
Um,
Ringo, which makes it even creepier because he's not, yeah. Oh, you're gonna bring
yeah.
up the lyrics to this.
Oh God.
So there was the music break at the very end is a reference to Frogman
What
from
is
the
Frogman?
50s.
Like- Is that like the Elephant Man's cousin?
Frogman.
Huge throwback, right? Was it the Elephant Man?
Yeah,
Okay.
Clarence Frogman Henry.
because he's got to be
Um,
blues with a name like that, right?
Right.
It was sort of bluesy, but his one song, and I think it's this "Ain't Got No Home." He sings it normally, and then the second verse he
Is like a
sings
frog?
in falsetto,
Ah,
so it's real high. And the third verse he sings, and it's so low he sounds like a bullfrog, which
That's
is where
crazy.
he gets his nickname.
hence the nickname, huh?
I ain't got no money. I ain't got a border.
There's that, and then it ends with "What do we do with the drunken sailor?" We were looking up information about this on our own, and there was reasons behind that, but it's still a weird song. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a
super
weird song, and yeah, and Ringo, not like it's Ringo. I mean, come on, that's weird. But there was some jams on there. There was some very good songs.
Yeah,
but it just kind of made me laugh.
I was gonna say I recognize a lot of the songs on here, mainly through
I-
pop culture though.
I knew 14 of these 35 songs.
I knew 3.
Three.
That's
Which ones did you know? Which
four.
ones did you know?
I knew "Time in a Bottle" because
Okay.
of the X-Men movie.
Okay, yep.
Right. I know "Hook on a Feeling" because of
Adventure.
Guardians.
or
First- no, it was the
or
Guardian of the
Guardians,
Galaxy.
Yeah, sorry.
I knew Kung Fu Fighting, and I knew Tony. If you scroll down here, I think there's one more song on here that I know.
Bottom, yeah.
It was the one that we talked about, Brian. It was the one with like no lyrics. It was just the music.
The love theme.
Love Theme. That's right.
Love
the
Theme by
Love Theme by Love Unlimited Orchestra, which by the way was crazy to me because it's a song with no word shot.
There are a handful on here that are instrumentals, which
I
would
think-
never happen today.
I think Love's Theme, The Sound of Philadelphia is
Yeah, it's a jam.
mostly instrumental.
Mostly,
And-
yeah.
So I had a couple categories I wanted to talk about. I have 3 S's. I've got surprises, super, and stinkers. So what was a song on here that you heard that surprised you, that you're like, man, I've never heard this before. This is really good.
I got one surprise. It was a John Denver song. It was an Annie song. It was the other one.
Sunshine on my shoulders.
Was yes, that's the one. It was real smooth. I really like that. Because prior to this, the only thing I knew from John Denver was "Take Me Home."
Yeah.
Country Road, yeah.
Yeah, Country Road. So it was cool to like hear new stuff from him, or like other stuff from him rather. But yeah, that was the one song that I really like. Everything else, I kind of just like either I didn't care much for. Again, we talked about this before, but like the 3 of us listen to music very differently. I kind of listen for the vibes, and Tony kind of listened for the lyrics, and Brian listened for like how the instrument kind of works. So for me, it was like when I was listening through this as like, as like somebody who only care about the vibes, it was a weird trip.
It is a weird
It's
playlist.
yeah,
man.
it's all over the place,
Yeah.
man. Because I just want to know how the country was like feeling a really soft, sad Barbara Streisand song, and then like some serious funky orchestra stuff the next week. It was
Right.
1974, I guess. So
there's a lot of drugs, Brian. That's what it was.
yeah, and I mean you can
Yeah.
hear, disco didn't really take off until a few years later, but then you can definitely hear the seeds of disco in a lot of these, before it turned out to straight out disco in like I think
Right.
1977, 78.
Did you have a surprise song on here, Brian?
Love's Theme. I didn't know.
Yeah.
What struck
So-
me about this is like most of these songs I had heard, and obviously with the exception of like Stevie Wonder and Elton John, and like Paul McCartney Wings, Band on the Run. Those are things that I would still listen to or listen to currently. But the other stuff I think I had a John Denver's Greatest Hits record as a kid, but all this other stuff that I've heard a lot of, I just had to hear through somehow in the universe, you know?
Right.
I
Yeah.
was, you know, like I was not a huge Barbara Streisand fan, but I knew that song.
It's so funny you said that though, Brian, because like I didn't know Love's theme until like maybe a year ago because it trended on TikTok. Like that's
Oh,
how I discovered that song. So
How-
I
so
knew
when-
of Love's theme because of TikTok, not because of this playlist. But yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so let me ask you this about when songs trend on TikTok.
hmm
Is somebody just playing the song, or is there something funny that goes along with it, and because that song's playing under it, then that's how it gets passed around?
Sometimes it depends. A lot of time it could be like somebody doing like an edit where they use a song and that's how it become popular. Or I don't think if somebody's talking over a song, it's gonna make me care that much. I would say it's mostly because it's an edit or if it's played under like something funny.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay.
usually trending because of some other trend.
And then that's the song attached with it, and it's cool.
Yeah,
then
and
it
it's
gets
like
passed
this is
around.
the
Okay.
thing that you do with this song right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The
Um,
if you play the first few seconds of "Rock Your Baby" up there at the top, it reminded me of something that we played on here, just like the intro, little bossa nova intro. See if this brings to mind what it brought to my mind.
Okay, yeah, then we're not doing. I didn't share sound this time. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
This was just
Well,
for looking at.
okay. Well, we'll have to go back to that because the intro sounds totally like "Dirt for the Dirt Man."
It does. It's very wood blocky.
It's got
Um,
that. It's like a pre-programmed, organ sound or whatever that little pre-programmed beat is.
Not "Rock Your Baby," but "Rock Me Gently" by Andy Kim. I had never heard before, and I'm like, I like this song. And
Oh, Billy
Dark-
Preston. That's another one that I would listen to currently.
"Dark Lady"
Dark Lady
was
I
my
hated that song.
surprise.
Dark lady, laugh and dance till lit the candles one by one.
I know you've told me that you didn't like that one.
So disgusting.
Something.
What-
I'm not a huge
Sorry.
Cher fan.
I mean, who is? I don't...
Who is? Yeah, I
A
was
lot of
gonna say.
people. A lot of people. She's the only person that has hit songs in like 7 decades.
I mean, you got to give it to her.
7
Yeah.
different decades.
She's stayed
gotten
relevant.
hits.
Yeah.
I'd never heard this song before, and I went, "This is pretty good."
Yeah. Fun fact about Cher that some people may know, but she was married to Greg Allman for several years and had a child with him of the Allman Brothers. That's like
Yes.
the weirdest pairing I think I could think of.
I just finished a Stuff You Should Know episode about Cher.
Oh my god.
Weirdly
Oh
enough.
my god, that's
Yeah.
so weird.
What a weird life she's had. Bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre. I threw this one in here. This might just be a thing for me, but super 70s. Our 2 instrumental songs, boy, is the guitar sound that they're using just the epitome of
Yeah.
orange and brown.
Yep.
It
The-
is
the-
so freaking 70s, it hurts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the wah pedal, man. Yeah, it's
wow.
fantastic. It's fantastic.
Boy.
And then the locomotion right there, Kylie Minogue had a hit with that, I think in the 80s. She redid that song. And that's how I think I
Yes.
heard the first one. But yeah, Grand Funk Railroad's version is the,
I was
think it's the
surprised
original.
Winston hadn't heard that one.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. Yeah.
It is a staple at weddings and and such.
Funny
Um,
enough, I've never gone to an American wedding ever. I've only gone to
Oh.
Vietnamese people weddings, so we never.
Well,
played
I mean,
Very
it-
different, I'm sure.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
you're at the age that's it's gonna start happening. So you're gonna have a
I
span
don't
of
know.
like several weddings.
Listen, all my friends are. It looks like they have determined to live the bachelor life until they're like in their 30.
So
Yeah,
this
you're-
is what
you're still
happens. Let-
young.
yeah, let
Well,
me-
they,
let me-
well, they goes, well, you're first to go, Winston. And I say, what? And they're like, yeah, I need somebody to get married so I can get drunk at their wedding. And I'm like, why me? And they're like, you're the most capable. And I was like,
You're
okay.
the most capable. Here's what happens.
Uh.
I'm going to tell you what happens, or at least what I saw happen. Once I got married when I was about to turn 30. And then my friends who were not married,
They started
everybody
getting
gets,
married.
No, they start getting dogs. Everybody gets a pet after they turn 30. If they're not married by 30, they then get a pet of some sort. That just seems to be
God.
what happens, and then they
Strange.
start start
Yeah.
looking a little bit
That-
harder.
that's how cat lady starts, man. They start at their 30 with the one cats, and it just keep going from there.
Until they're dead and their cats eat them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Did
Oh.
either of you have a particular stinker? Did you just get a song that you were like, this is the worst song in this playlist by far?
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Dark
a couple.
Lady by Cher.
Listen, that's fine. I didn't
I
write the song
hate
down.
it.
Okay.
It was terrible. It's
That's fine.
creeped me the hell out.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was,
Yeah. Also
was that
probably
and,
slightly racist.
yeah, it was that and the streak. I didn't really like the streak.
The
Streak's
streak is one of my
ridiculous.
options. It's one of my
It
options.
stinks, man.
It was
It
bad.
sucks.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious. The fact that it's called Boogity Boogity is the album. Listen to it
Yeah.
again and listen to it as a joke. It's pretty funny. Billy Don't Be a Hero didn't love, and that one about Chicago, the
Night Chicago died.
night Chicago
not
died.
good.
Yeah, not a jam.
I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring for "Feel Like Making Love" by Roberta Flack because I turned it on. I was like, "Oh, good song," and I went, "Not the same song."
Not the same song. Not the classic rock song that we know that feel
By,
like making love.
Bad
Oh,
Company.
yeah, well, speaking of classic rock, I've told you I hate this song. The one with "You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet."
Yes.
Baby.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
you
right,
ain't-
yeah.
I realized that stuttering in songs really bothers me, and this one bothers me because I don't know why I know this, but apparently one of the members of the band's like brother or whatever roadie stuttered, and they were making fun of them.
That's
And
so
like,
fucked.
and they came in and turned it in the studio and like started doing that as a joke. And then the producer's like, "No, we'll keep that in." So yeah, I don't
That's so
I
messed
don't
up.
like songs.
Well, we
that stutter.
discussed that you don't like songs that stutter out of rhythm with the song. You don't
Right.
like this. You don't like "Bad to the Bone."
No, you're right.
But Benny and the Jets is on this list.
Oh, there
And
you go.
he stutters in that song, but you're okay with that one.
Because
I
I
like
don't,
that, but his,
Benny and the Jets.
because
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's stuttering. Well, see, I don't know, but Bad to the Bone, he's kind of in rhythm too, but that just bothered me too. Like that's a fantastic guitar riff in Bad to the Bone, but yeah, the stuttering drives me nuts. But Benny and the
Mhm.
Jets, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's acceptable.
Benny and the Jets.
My
All right.
Generation by The Who, don't like the stuttering.
There you
Not
go.
on this list, but still, if you have a stuttering songs playlist.
We're not allowed to make fun of stuttering people anymore. Not in this day and
No.
age.
The last thing I'm going to ask before we move on is I want to get a top 3.
Mm,
Ooh, I got mine.
Winston,
okay.
go
Number
ahead.
1 of all time, "Time in a Bottle."
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to
So
Solid
good. Right at the
pick, yeah.
beginning of the list.
And
Such
like
a good
2.5
song.
minutes. He wrote like a
Yeah.
perfect song. It's like 2.5 minutes. That's all you need.
So good. So good. Number 2, "Love Steam." Such a good
Okay,
song.
good.
Not having to know any lyrics. So it's something you could just chill to, you know?
Nice, relaxing song.
Exactly. And then number 3, I had to say it because it's just so good. Kung Fu Fighting. It's just iconic. Everybody knows it, you know.
Yeah.
So that was my top 3.
Like you need Kung Fu Fighting, and then I always in my brain like pair that with Ballroom Blitz. It's like if you know that song.
I've never heard of that song.
Have you not seen Wayne's World?
I've not. We have had this
Oh,
conversation before.
Gosh,
That's-
yeah.
That song always pairs with Blitzkrieg Bop to me.
Okay, yeah. Ballroom Blitzkrieg Bob. There you got a
Yeah.
mashup.
Brian, top 3?
Definitely Band on the Run is number 1. I love that song. And let's see. I really like The Joker by Steve
The
Miller
Joker
Band.
is really good. Yeah.
The Steve Miller Band really is the band of the 70s where you go, that's a good song, and I don't know who sings it. It's always
It's always
them.
Steve Miller.
It's always
thought-
Steve Miller Band.
I thought Steve Miller Band was just one guy. Like
It is. It's Steve Miller and his band. His
no,
backing
I thought
band.
his last name was Band.
He's-
Steve Band.
He's related to Dave Band, Dave
Yeah.
Matthews Band.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story. I saw Steve Miller Band play at Universal Studios, and he sounded amazing. And so he also sings Fly Like an Eagle, which you might know, like one of the greatest songs of all time. And love that song. and like they're playing Fly Like an Eagle and they go into this extended jam session, and then the keyboard player steps up and they're like in this groove and he starts rapping.
Oh.
It was horrible. And it was like, I'm gonna fly like an eagle. It was so bad. It really it made me sad. I was just like, I love that song, like is implanted in my brain from my youth. So but other than that, other than the rap break and Fly Like an Eagle, Steve Miller Band sounded phenomenal live. And then to wrap
us a
it up,
third. Yeah.
let's see.
Come on, one more. Dark Lady is also there, Brian. Just
I'm gonna
in
go.
case,
This was an unexpected one, but I would totally listen to this again. Is the Sound of Philadelphia? The
TSOP, man.
yeah, man. That was a
T-Sop.
jam.
Really?
Surprising.
Listen to it. It's got the super, funky wah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have thrown in the Billy Preston's one there, but yeah, I'll give you those three. I like those three.
You don't like Kung Fu Fighting?
I do, but you can only listen to that so many times without,
That's fair.
it's
Kung
not-
Fu Fighting is one of the songs I've got a real issue with things that are like too weirdly upbeat. And
Yeah.
for some reason that song falls in that genre for me,
Yeah.
where it's just like it's overplayed, it's too happy almost.
Why are you so
I don't-
happy? Pipe
Right.
down, asshole.
No, seriously.
Listen, there's one on my birth year playlist, and you're gonna be like, I can't believe you don't like that song. I despise this song, but we'll get to
Oh,
that later.
man. Yeah.
My three, I'm gonna echo Winston. My number 3, Time in a Bottle.
We're going countdown.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna count down. Time in a Bottle. Number 2 for me, Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot.
Great song. Almost made my list. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I am
great song.
super into folksy stuff, and that's right up
Yeah.
my alley.
Yeah, that
Right.
chorus is undeniable.
Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
My number 1. I don't see how this couldn't be the best song on this entire playlist. Hooked on a Feeling.
I was gonna
It's
say, hold on.
So dang good.
It's good,
It's
but I'll
so
tell you
good.
why. It was technically my number 4, and the reason why I didn't put it above Kung Fu Fighting, despite how irritating Kung Fu Fighting can get, is the Ooga Chaka at the beginning.
Yeah, man, that goes on a little bit long.
I hate it. I hate the Ooga Chaka.
I love it. And
But
and then it
it's-
cuts out, the instrumentation cuts out later in
Yeah.
the song, and it's just a cappella. It's great.
It's good.
Yeah.
No, it's a good song. But
Here's the interesting thing about that song is that's a cover
wait,
and-
of what?
of Hooked on a Feeling. The Blue Suede version that we all know is not the original version of that song.
Sorry, I was gonna say this. The original has the Ooga Chaka in it too, or no?
I don't think so, but
Probably
we'll
not.
have to check that. But here's an interesting bit of internet trivia with the Blue Suede version. Back when you had viral videos, did you ever see the dancing baby in
Yes.
diapers, Winston?
Yes.
Okay, with the
Uh-huh.
Ooga Chaka, right? It had
Uh-huh.
that attached to it. So that dancing baby was like one of the first viral videos. When the video, you would email them to people and be like, watch
Mhm.
this video.
All right.
And for some reason, that version of Hooked on a Feeling was attached to that dancing baby and kind
So-
of, I think, became
so-
more widely known.
So
Do you think-
Bjorn's
Go ahead.
Bjorn's Gifts and Blue Suede is the original, and it does have the Ooga Chaka. That's
So
part
Blue
of the
Suede
song.
was the original. Brian said it
That's-
was a cover.
He said Blue Suede was the original.
No.
Oh,
No, I'm
you said it
saying
was
Blue
covered.
Suede was not. Blue Suede's a cover.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a 1986.
BJ Thomas is
Yes,
the original.
written by Mark
Okay.
James and performed by BJ Thomas. Yeah, back in 1969.
Well, then I was incorrect, and that is not part, at least from the lyrics that I'm looking at.
So the real question is, do you think James Gunn listened to Hooked on a Feeling when he was like 10, 15 years old? And that's why he was like, I gotta put this in a movie? Or do you think it's from the Dancing Baby video?
Well, prior to the Dancing Baby, in 1992, it was featured in Reservoir Dogs, Quentin Tarantino's
Really?
movie.
Did
Now
not
you're a
know that.
Tarantino fan. Have you seen that movie?
That was the one movie I never watched. It was too,
Oh, man,
too gory, man.
So good, yeah. But anyway, it was used in there too. So it's been kind of kicking around pop culture for a while. So I would say that if he didn't hear it as a child, he saw it in Reservoir Dogs.
Probably.
It's interesting. Like all of those songs, I noticed that the trend, like they're either love songs, which
Mhm.
like are very much overtly talking about having sex,
Yeah.
or they are stories of one or another, and it's like a little like Cher's song. Sounds
This
like
is
it reminded me of like a
season
play.
time.
Yeah.
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 And but yeah, America was all over the place though. I mean, the fact that instrumentals charted is just kind of funny
So
to think
crazy.
now.
I don't think
Yeah.
we could ever get that to happen again this day. Like ever. I don't think there's a song that
I
could
don't know.
chart.
I think if you had a big enough movie that had a recognizable soundtrack, I bet it could happen again.
That's why Bye 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 is back on the chart.
Why it's popular again.
Well, good. Good to know the kids from NSYNC are still getting residuals. I
Yeah,
would,
exactly.
some of those haven't
Hey.
been as successful as the others, but
No, for sure.
A 1988 playlist will be incoming. I'll mention it again at the end, but I know both of you had things that you wanted to get to.
oh no, but I'm looking forward to that one because by 1988 I was very much, even earlier than that, but like that's when the 80s are when I was listening to the radio nonstop
Yeah.
all the time. So I'm looking forward to that one.
That's why for me this doesn't really do anything. It's more just discovering new music because
Yeah.
it's not the stuff that I listened to when I was growing up. Like when I was in Vietnam, I never listened to the radio because we didn't have cars, so that was one thing. But
You had
like
radios though, right?
yeah, but we didn't use them because I mean we had computers and stuff at that point. We could just access the internet. So like I was able to listen to a lot of American music that I kind of know of by searching up Vivo. Funny enough, that was like my way of like finding new music. I realistically only listened to the radio from like 2011 to 2015 maybe. And then like after that it was just I can choose my own music.
Yeah. Well, so, back in the day, they would
Yeah.
put dollars behind a song and get on the radio, and then that's
Yeah.
how how you had the hits, and that was how a lot of stuff was introduced into the.
So how
populace.
does that like nowadays? How does a chart work? Does that still?
Yeah, I
is
don't
it
know.
still based
I have
off of
no,
radio
I have
play,
no
or is it-
idea how they
I-
know what charts.
I would
I mean-
assume they're looking at streams and downloads of
That's-
stuff to see,
Right.
because that's where most of the plays are happening.
But they
Yeah.
still have the
But
Billboard
it's-
Hot 100 and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if that's
And
still
again,
radio.
I'm guessing they're looking at those numbers. I don't know where they're pulling them from. Probably big platforms like Apple Music and Spotify and stuff.
Yeah, there are songs that are charting, and I'm like, I've never heard this song ever in my life.
Well, I think it's got to be hard. Like you used to be able to record an album or at least a single and then go to your local radio station, and people were discovered by like begging or bribing DJs to play
their music.
the record on the radio, and that's how
Yeah.
people sometimes got very, very famous. You just
Then the
can't do
internet
that.
happened. Yeah.
And then the internet
Yeah.
happened, and
Yeah.
that's gone.
And that gave us
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
But that was great though. I love these old beeps. Yeah, because like there's okay, I gotta talk about it. And I don't know if like Chad's even gonna offended by it because I don't know who's in chat. There's a new artist called Chappelle Roan. Have you guys heard of her?
Chapel
Yes.
Roan, isn't
Chapel
it?
Roan? Is it
I
Chapel?
believe
thought it
I
was
believe it's-
Chapel.
I believe it's Chapel.
Don't know who she is. Why? Like, I don't know why she's famous. And apparently, she was like pulling in a ton of people at like some festival. And like, she has.
Are you
another
telling me
si-
I should say I heard about her from a younger person, so that's how I know who she is.
Do your kids listen to Chapel Roan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently she's like a huge sensation all of a sudden everywhere, and it's I guess
Sound like an industry plant to me. I've
But
never
the-
heard of Chapel Roan.
but from what I understand, she's bringing back just like pure pop music, like just fun pop music.
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter was doing that for like months before she came.
Well,
up.
now you got the lesbian version of Sabrina Carpenter.
Is that what that is? I guess.
I don't know. I'm not qualified to speak on this, but
Listen,
yeah,
man, I
have,
will say Sabrina Carpenter have me and my boys in a chokehold. It's hilarious. We are like obsessed with her.
she could be created by AI.
Yeah, no, it really. But I think we're there because she looks good, not so much her music.
We didn't
music
have
was
any
interesting.
Carpenters on your playlist, did we, Brian? I don't
No,
think they were there
double
at
shot
all.
of John Denver, no Carpenters. I don't know if that was later.
Carpenter was I think I know one song from them.
Karen Carpenter, not eating enough.
No, phenomenal drummer. Like she was a phenomenal drummer. Yeah, but
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm trying to look up like their music to see if there's one. Close to You is the one I know. Like that's the one song I
Right.
know from Carpenters. What is up with like band back then and not using the word "duh" in front of their name? It's just Carpenters, Eagles,
Carpenters.
Wings,
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys. Yeah, like that's kind of baller, you know?
It's
Uh,
hard though. Referring
It's
to
not
them.
the Steve Miller Band. It's just Steve Miller Band.
Steve Miller Band.
It's not Dusty Miller Band.
It's not.
Nope, just Steve Miller
Uh,
Band.
yeah.
Steve Band, if you don't know. his name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's hilarious.
it's only Steve Miller Band when you're yelling at him.
That's right.
You gotta use
Exactly.
some middle names.
Steve Miller Band, come here. Play Fly Like an Eagle. Drop the
I want to
rap
hear
verse.
Abracadabra, Steve Miller Band.
I loved that song in the 80s, and objectively now it is seriously an awful song.
You know who I was
Really?
hoping to see?
Oh yeah.
You know
It's so
who's I'm
bad.
hoping to see on these playlists, and I don't even know if he's gonna show up on Tony's, but Bob Dylan. You know, I feel like we talked about him a lot. I feel like, you know, maybe he would show up somewhere.
I can
get
surprise
there.
you and say no Bob Dylan on any of the playlists.
No.
He was 60s. I don't know if he charted, but I mean, he, you know, this is just the
Yeah.
#1 song. So there's a lot. I mean, I was surprised on some of these artists on the 70s that I'd never heard of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some, you know, the ones that went on: Eric Clapton, Elton John, Steve Miller Band.
I was gonna say though, like once we get through these playlists, I do want to have like where we just kind of pick an album and have each other listen to it, because I think that's would be very interesting to me.
We're gonna go to that
I
highly
like that.
contested Apple 100 list.
Yeah, that would be. We wouldn't do that because I would want to pick like an album that wasn't on there, like that I think is the best album.
We can make the XYZ top 100 album
Okay.
list.
Exactly.
100,
We should
man.
do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
We're gonna argue with each other. I mean,
Corn,
that's-
not on the list.
Thank you.
did you just say corn?
I said
yeah,
he's
Tony-
not.
Tony
I
loves-
said
Tony
they're
loves
not on the
corn.
list. Yeah. Yeah.
At least
mean,
I won't be
there you
picking
go.
them.
I will say, man, the 2000s like alt metal rap. It was a weird time. Your Limp Bizkits, your Corn. It was a very, very strange time. But
New
so-
metal was
so-
what we discovered. Yeah.
yeah, so pulling up the 100 best albums right now, though, I'm looking at they feature one in Apple Music, and it's "Are You Experienced" by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I would fully endorse listening to that album for it. You know, anyone. I mean, that is a phenomenal, phenomenal album.
Well, I guess when we pick up Winston's idea here, when it's your turn, you can suggest
Oh,
that.
geez, man! If I have
Yeah.
one, yeah, that's a big responsibility. Like, what one album would I want you guys to listen to?
I'm excited if we continue it to like pick very different stuff that I'm into.
That's it. That's my goal. Because my goal is for Ryan to listen to a Twice album. That's really the real goal here.
Well, I've told you that my kids went through a K-pop phase, so I
Yes,
have
but that
been
was
exposed to some
BTS.
BTS. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Now-
that's
supposed to
trash music. Get them.
Are you
it's the
gonna
same
pick?
music?
Are you gonna pick Twice? You gonna pick the
No,
Seraphim?
Twice is not. K-pop would not be the first playlist I would let you guys listen to.
I'm just saying, if you had to pick a K-pop group, who would you pick? Would it be Twice? Would it be the Seraphim? Would it be
probably be Twice? Yeah.
Okay.
It would
No,
pro-
but
yeah.
but this is just an album. We're gonna get John Williams' greatest Star Wars hits from Tony. That's,
Yeah,
the,
right.
the orchestral album. I'd listen to it. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
which ties back to, I did not realize, or if I did, I've forgotten about it, that John Williams, composer of Star Wars, Harry Potter,
E.T.,
Jaws, everything,
Indiana Jones?
yeah,
Right.
E.T.,
Harry- yeah.
yeah, composed the theme to the Olympics. Yeah, that was him too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, that guy he just keeps cranking them out, man.
Man, have you ever noticed how he like title his songs to? It's like real weird.
It's I don't feel like that's the case. Go
Don't they
ahead. I have a
usually,
story.
like-
I have a story about this. Weirdly enough, but
Okay. No, by all
Um,
means, go ahead.
What are you talking about? Like how he titles them like
Like
Luke's
his
theme
music.
or Hedwig's theme, or it's usually like to the It's usually corresponding with the film.
I don't know
there
if it's John Williams or if it's another composer who kind of just like title his stuff real weird. Well, I guess not that bad. He has some bangers: Imperial March, Dual Fates.
See, okay, Tony, you met John
There
Williams
was-
in an elevator one time.
I know. I would. Oh my gosh. The ending of episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was ruined
Why?
because of the early release of the soundtrack.
Wait, why?
Oh,
Track-
were they?
Track 15. This is a highly anticipated movie. Star Wars hasn't come. The last Star Wars movie was 1983. People are so pumped that there's new Star Wars. People are going nuts. There's, again, the merchandise out the wazoo. This comes out a few weeks before the movie releases. Track
Oh, the
15.
titles. Oh,
Track 15. Qui-Gon's Noble End.
oh man.
And people were
Oh,
pissed.
Oh man.
They were like, how could you
Yeah.
let this out?
Oh
rough.
no!
Did this not go past anybody's
Yeah,
eyes?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Not good.
That would
No.
never fly under the mouse's flag. Never,
All right.
ever. Not.
Two things
Yeah.
I'd like to point out at this point. One, I brought it up, but I don't know. Does Tony have to turn in his coin for that one?
Yes, I
And
do. Yeah.
yes.
Two,
Yeah.
with your
Totally
white
right.
shirt and your headphones, you kind of got a Princess Leia vibe going on right now.
It's like a brownish.
I couldn't
off-white shirt,
see
but
that,
I
but when you were
really-
slumped down,
thanks.
you had the
Um,
buns and the white shirt. Okay, that was
okay,
just a
yeah.
joke.
Speaking of flying things under the mouse's flag, did you guys hear about that doctor that died at the park? Did you guys hear about this?
Somebody else died?
Yes,
Oh, the
it
woman,
was-
yes, who ate the
yeah, it
peanuts?
was the woman. Yeah, with the peanuts, and how they were like, "Oh, well,
Oh.
she signed up for a trial of Disney,
Disney Plus,
so
and
we're
that
legally
forgives
allowed
us
to just
across the board.
Yeah.
Yo, you can't.
You can't
No,
do
yeah.
that.
No. That absolves you of Disney Plus situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess they probably had similar language. So what I was reading is apparently they also have similar language in the website
Parks?
where you go to buy your ticket.
right.
That's
Still, man,
they're
somebody-
they're clawing at it. I defend.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that company a lot, but I don't know that I can defend them on this one.
They're,
This is
Well,
they're
they-
gonna try
they've
and settle this
decided-
because this is bad.
No.
Mhm.
They've decided to take it to court, like fully.
Oh,
They're like, we're not doing
geez.
arbitrations on this anymore. We're gonna go to court for it. But from that, it just stem away. Like so many jokes has stemmed out from that whole thing that I've like. An example that I saw today was so like for Chad who doesn't know, I'm gonna be streaming a game after this called Black Myth Wukong, right? It's a game that was developed by some Chinese developer, and so people got somebody on
That's
Twitter.
redundant.
Yeah, so somebody on Twitter goes, "Yeah, make sure you guys read the term and policy because it says here you signed up for the Chinese military." I'm
Yeah,
like, that's
like,
hilarious.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not gonna. There's no way they can come out looking good from this. I mean, even if
Exactly.
they, yeah, that's bad news,
Yeah,
man.
and that's the mouse, man. You
That
can't
is
go
the
suing the
mouse.
mouse. Yeah.
So Winston, you
Uh,
usually do this to me, but I got a term I want to lay on both of you guys to see if you
Okay.
know. So after our discussion last week about soy boys, I not only did that term come up talking to my daughter. Like it's
Oh, no
bizarre. There's
way.
been several things that we talk
No.
about on here that then because of that I can say I actually know what you're talking about. I
Okay.
understand that reference.
Not perfect.
So soy boy, I even got a better explanation than yours. Your explanation was that like they're soft. What she said about the soy boy is that soybeans have estrogen, and so therefore you're it's basically like
Emasculated.
yes,
That's
exactly.
hilarious.
It's like it's like calling you a sissy.
Interesting.
See, that's new to me. I wasn't like I just looked up what soy boy mean, and that's what I found out.
But
Did you
yes,
so wait,
that's
did
it.
you ask her what soy boy mean, and how did it just randomly came up?
It
on a
came up and I was
conversation?
like, Winston just said that. So I felt that I got a more in-depth explanation about it. And it was actually even more hurtful to a boy that's being called
Yeah.
a soy boy. Like basically you're being a little whiny, emotive, you're just being, kind of a sissy about things.
exactly.
However, that's not that then brought up a term that I found absolutely hilarious and want to see if you guys know. And the term is, or have you heard of hang on, stand by, got to consult my notes.
Oh,
The
good.
sassy man apocalypse.
Yes, it's amazing. The sassy man apocalypse.
Lost.
Tony, you
I'm
never heard of
lost.
this?
Nope.
So there's no
Explain.
well, yeah, I was gonna say, Tony, there's no reason that I should know about this other than the fact talking to my daughter, who then showed me clips of the sassy man apocalypse,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely hilarious and sort of dovetails off the soy boy.
Yeah.
Winston,
the
how would you explain the sassy man apocalypse?
Man, it's hard. So Sassy Man Apocalypse is essentially the phenomenon that all the boys are kind of getting a lot sassier than they ever did before. Because, as a man, you're supposed to be manly, you're supposed to just tough it out. But the fact that nowadays a lot of these girls think that they could just say a certain thing to the boys without these boys just turning around being real sassy against them.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an example. Let's see.
Okay,
Sassy-
a crude way to put it would be for a girl to turn to a guy and be like, "Stop being a little bitch." Like
Yeah.
that's completely what it is that men are becoming sassy and turning into like little bitches about things. And I'm convinced, and I've spoken my piece on this before, that a lot of this stems from the freaking Disney live action comedy shows.
That's
The
it.
live
I
action
agree.
shows where
Yeah.
and I know,
Every-
Tony, you didn't
yeah.
watch
At
these.
least let's lay the blame on Disney and Nickelodeon.
Okay,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
lumping
Okay.
them all together. Sure. Well,
Okay.
what was the one on
iCarly
Brian,
was on
do
Nickelodeon.
you have
there you go.
do you
All
have a
those.
Disney Plus subscription? We're
I
not
do.
allowed to make fun of any of
We
the
can,
Disney
we can.
shows,
I read the
buddy.
fine print. If I die, I'm screwed, but I can talk smack about them all I want.
All right.
But yeah, so Tony, you aged out of it, but yes, those type shows. Let's not just pigeonhole Disney. But I would always see them, my kids watching them, and all of the boys, all of the male characters on those shows were depicted as like little whiny bitches.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm convinced that's what's now happening in real life, where women are like, "Where's the masculine men?" Now, we don't want toxic masculinity. That's too much, but I think it's
Right.
overcorrected and gone the opposite way that now has brought
Well,
upon the
it's
sassy
equal
man
rights,
apocalypse.
It's
equal
I was going to
rights.
say that.
Yeah.
Are we sure? Are we on a slippery slope to call them sassy and refer to it like this, or is it just?
No, that's the name of it. I didn't.
Yeah, I
didn't
understand
coin
that.
it.
Are they really being sassy, or are they just being smartasses?
That's
being
what
little
it is.
bitches.
No. That's not what being a sassy man is. I think being a sassy man is just being a smartass rather than like being little bitches. Because you can be
No,
little
I think
bitches.
it's getting offended by certain things.
No,
I think
that's not what sassy man apocalypse is, Ryan.
I'm telling you, the clips I saw, it was
No, man. I think you might be mixing because I've seen the
No,
thing
I'm
where
just-
they've getting
Well,
offended.
hold on. I'm on the Know Your Meme. I went right to the source. I want
Okay,
to explain
yeah.
this to me.
Okay.
It
give us
started
the textbook definition.
catchphrase first coined on X, subsequently shared on TikTok, saying that we in a sassy man apocalypse. Where people began showing videos about their sassy boyfriends, typically showcasing them displaying feminine or sassy behaviors.
acting like a little bitch.
But that's not acting like a little bitch. Though.
I think it's
that's
just girl sass.
that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
one of the examples was like a dude going, "You drive," and then him being the passenger princess. But that's
not being a little bitch though. I like if a girl's like, "Oh, can you drive?" I'll be like, "No, I kind of want to just sit in the seat." That's
Yeah.
not me being a little bitch.
Yeah,
that's
it
me
is.
just being that's me being sassy too. That's
Okay,
me being
well.
being a smart ass, like Tony said. I don't think that's so much of being.
I think our phrasing's wrong, and I don't know. That's
we are almost a year behind on this whole topic.
Of course we are.
Yeah. That's the whole premise of our show, right? Is
well, I just thought it sort of like it was we're talking about soy boys that then this came up, and I thought it was very funny, and I have I have very strong feelings
Yeah.
about the preteen tweens
Right.
live action comedies on those networks. But you
One of
had
the-
heard it, Winston.
yeah, like
I almost called you Princeton.
Princeton, yeah.
It's Princeton.
Charleston,
Prince
yeah.
Winston from Charleston.
Yeah. No, it's because sometimes I do like I don't intentionally do it, but sometimes I kind of do get sassy with my girlfriend. Like she'll say something to me, and instead of just saying anything back, I kind of just like glance at her like this, and then I'll just walk away.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Winston's
that's
part
like
of the sassy man apocalypse.
Oh yeah,
Tony.
100%. I think every boy in this generation is part of that because it's like you said. I do think it do trace back to like all those live action children's shows.
I get it that toxic masculinity was a problem, but this is an
Yeah.
overcorrection.
Yeah,
Girls
it
are
is.
like, give me somebody that's that will hold the door open, that will move me out of the way of a puddle, that will say no, it's okay.
Well,
I'll
guess
drive."
what? Guess what? It's not the 1950s anymore. They can open their own doors. I say that as I open my girlfriend's door every time.
Yes, you
But
should.
it was-
That has nothing to do. That's just being a nice person. I'll hold the
Yeah.
door open for anyone,
Yeah.
regardless of their gender,
Yeah.
whether they know it or not.
Except for their
Let's-
age. I slam the door on old people. You're not allowed to go outside. No, but I was gonna say a follow-up to that real quickly was every time like a man kind of like gets sassies on the internet or whatever, I always see a girl, like it's always Twitter, but I always see a girl requote it and goes, men used to go to war. That's
Yeah.
all they
Yeah.
would say. Yeah, men used to go to war, and I just
yeah,
think
I mean,
that's
some
so
still
funny.
do, but yeah, not the ones that are spending all their days on TikTok.
It being sassy, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah,
Well, Tony, I'm glad we educated you.
Yeah.
Should,
Well,
should that come
let's-
up in your day to
Maybe
day?
some more educations
what's
incoming
chat
here.
saying about this?
I hope I didn't.
Let's
offend
be
anybody.
let's be real topical. What is going on with Demure? What is happening?
I
This is
was
another one of those things where I saw it. I went, I ignored it, and now it's overtaking. And I intentionally ignored, and I can't help myself anymore.
I do not know. That's fun. I'm laughing because I'm the same way. When I'll see something, I'll ignore it. Then I see it like 5 more times. I'm like, okay, what is everybody yapping about? Demure. I have seen that, but what is that? Was that are
Very
the sassy
demure,
men being
very
demure?
mindful.
Very mindful. Look at me. I'm not talking over you guys. I'm being very mindful, being very demure. You know, it's just being like a girl. Like that's where it kind of started from. It's just girls talking to each other. And
I
like
thought that's what the sassy men were being accused of. Like it's the same thing. Somebody get a thesaurus for Christmas? What's going on?
That's what I'm saying. No, seriously. I don't know where it originated from, but the first instance I saw of it was Leifei, like the singer Leifei, and she was eating Cheetos out of the bag with a fork. And she goes, "Look at me, see how I'm eating my Cheetos out of the bag with a fork. Look at me, very mindful, very demure."
Here's the thing: if you were being demure, you wouldn't be putting it on the internet. That kind of defeats.
But that's
You
I think
also
that's the whole
wouldn't
point.
be eating Cheetos.
Yeah, but I think that's
thing number one. Cheetos don't go near you.
right. But I think that's the whole point. Is I think it's more irony and ironic than it really.
okay.
Yeah. I don't think people are taking it serious.
Oh,
but
absolutely not. But it's a thing where I keep seeing it and I go,
Yeah.
I've missed the train again. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
But I will say it's sort of like here's like, oh, it's kind of funny, and then here's it's real fucking annoying, and it's at that point now. Like I don't think there's been a trend recently that I found that they, like make awards. Like the word Riz was real funny for like a short period of time, and then it's got worse and worse, and it's just annoying as shit now. But yeah, like, and that's where demure is. I never care about a word. I've never used it. That was my first instant of ever hearing the word.
If I was gonna say, if you do so, I'm gonna probably offend some
My
people.
girlfriend's in chat said, "How demure are you, Winston? Get out of here! Get her out of
Oh,
here!"
that's fantastic. That's fantastic. We're gonna keep that as a clip. I'm gonna probably offend some people, but if you look up the girl who came up with the trend,
JOOLS LeBron.
JOLL.
Oh wait, I'm gonna have to
Two
remove all
O's.
this. She's a trans TikToker, so I'm just gonna have to remove all this, or else we'll get the mobs after us.
Oh,
Our hopes of Bud Light sponsoring this show have gone out the window.
No. Bud Light might sponsor us.
No, what
Yeah.
happened
No,
last time
not
they brought it?
anymore,
Oh, that's
man.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm insult, that's right. I'm sorry.
her name is Jewel LeBron, like LeBron James.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's get more creative.
Uh,
Tony's like, I'm just walking away from all this.
Jules LeBron is a dope name, though. Well, LeBron is just a dope name. Jules, not so much, but
Okay.
Somebody in chat said podcast also dead.
Yes. Damn it. Sorry. I knew.
died so young.
Yeah. I'm fine with everybody. I really do. That I truly mean that. I'm
Yeah,
fine
we
with
don't know
everybody.
her. We don't know. She could be lovely.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yeah, she's
Probably
probably a great person, very demure, very mindful.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I move on here.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want my
Yeah.
girlfriend to say anything else in chat. It's not very fun.
She had the best
It's
response there,
good.
Demure
No,
Winston.
seriously.
Very, very demure.
Since we said demure about 50 times with barely understanding what it means, I'm gonna wrap
Is it
this up.
French? Is it a French?
I'm
sure
sure it
is.
has French
Yeah.
origins. Maybe
Yeah.
Tony, maybe we need to go 15 more minutes because everything that we just said for the last
Yeah,
10
we
is
that
gonna be
was
cut out.
Listen, it's gonna be a shorter episode. We gotta get to a post show here.
Yeah, the episode's 30 minutes
So,
long.
In
Brian
the
started-
post
Brian
show,
started
we
running his
apologize
mouth.
for all of our wrongdoings and we make amends.
You can't. We're
Yeah.
going back to tweet 15 years, Tony. You're gonna get in
Yep.
trouble for something you said when you were.
No. Hey, thanks for listening. Tell a friend.
I swear we're good people.
Yeah.
No.
We're very demure, very mindful.
Please rate and subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss new episodes. As a reminder, downloads help us, streams not so much. Appreciate it. If you want us to talk about something, you can show up live when we go live, or you could send us an email at podcastxyzxwhyz@gmail.com. You can visit us on Instagram to see when we go live, to check out the playlist that we mentioned. Tony's birth year playlist coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. You can check us out on YouTube, where our TV brackets are going up. Post shows go up exclusively on there. All that's at Podcast XYZ. Check out our website, where we've got Winston's Watch and Listen list, where we link to things that we've talked about. We have a list of everything that we've talked about. Our merch store is located. Again, we've got mugs, we've got shirts, hoodies, hats now. That can all be found at our home on the web, podcastxyz.podbean.com. And with that, we will see everybody next time.